At 3 a.m. on a silent British railway line, a train carrying millions in cash came to a sudden stop. No alarms, no gunshots, no chase, just a red signal glowing in the darkness. The driver had no idea that this single stop would turn his routine night into the most famous robbery in British history. A crime so perfectly planned that the criminals didn't just steal money, they stole the train itself. And all of this happened in less than 15 minutes. August 8, 1963. A Royal Mail train was traveling from Glasgow to London, carrying letters, parcels, and something far more valuable. Inside one special carriage were bags filled with cash, worth about £2.6 million at the time, which today equals more than £67 million, nearly 800 crore rupees. The train had 12 carriages and 72 postal workers on board, sorting mail while the train moved at full speed. This was not a passenger train. It was designed to keep moving, stopping nowhere. And that made it the perfect target. Months earlier, a group of London criminals had begun planning something unprecedented. The mastermind was Bruce Reynolds. What gave him confidence was one dangerous advantage: insider information. Someone high up within Royal Mail security had leaked a crucial secret. One specific carriage, known as the high-value package carriage, carried massive amounts of cash, and on one particular night, that carriage would be carrying far more money than usual. The reason was a recent bank holiday weekend, which meant extra cash was being transported to London. Normally, these high-value carriages were protected by alarm systems, but on that night, the alarm-equipped carriage was out of service. A reserve carriage was used instead. No alarms, no protection. This wasn't coincidence, this was timing. But knowing the secret wasn't enough. None of them actually knew how to rob a train. So Reynolds brought in another group, the South Coast Raiders, criminals experienced with railway operations. Slowly, the team grew to more than 15 men. Their rules were clear: no guns, no shooting, no unnecessary noise. Speed and precision were everything. On August 8th, at 6:50 in the evening, the train left Glasgow Central Station. Its arrival in London was scheduled for 4 a.m. Late that night, at a quiet location called Sears Crossing, the gang was already hidden in the bushes beside the tracks. Their plan was simple, but risky. They tampered with the railway signal. The green light was blocked, a battery-powered red light was switched on. From a distance, it looked completely normal. As the train approached the crossing, Jack Mills, a 58-year-old veteran train driver, noticed the red signal. It didn't make sense. This crossing was never red for Royal Mail trains. But rules were rules. He applied the brakes. The train stopped. Moments later, the assistant driver stepped down to use the trackside telephone. The line was dead. Before he could react, men emerged from the darkness and restrained him. Several others climbed into the engine cabin. Jack Mills tried to resist. He was struck on the head with an iron bar and collapsed unconscious in his seat. At the same time, other gang members uncoupled the first two carriages from the rest of the train. Their plan wasn't just to rob the carriage, they planned to move it. A retired train driver had been brought along to drive the engine away, but when he saw the modern controls, he panicked. He had never operated this model before. With time running out, the gang made a shocking decision. They revived the injured Jack Mills and forced him to drive the engine forward just 1 kilometer to a nearby spot called Bridego Bridge. Under the bridge, a truck was waiting. The gang broke into the high-value package carriage. Inside were 128 heavy bags filled with cash, weighing nearly 2.5 tons. 5 postal workers were beaten, tied up, and forced to lie face down. A human chain was formed. Bag after bag was passed down into the truck. They only had 15 minutes. They managed to load 120 bags. 8 were left behind. Then, just as quickly as they had appeared, they vanished. The robbery seemed perfect. No alarms, no witnesses, no immediate chase. The gang escaped to a farmhouse hideout located about 43 kilometers away. There, they celebrated, they laughed, they even played Monopoly using real stolen money. But one small mistake changed everything. Before leaving, one robber warned the tied-up workers not to move for 30 minutes. That single sentence gave police a critical clue. Investigators now knew the criminals couldn't be far. A 50-kilometer search radius was established. Helicopters filled the sky. Roadblocks appeared everywhere. A reward was announced nationwide. Soon, a nearby resident reported suspicious activity around a rented farmhouse. Police raided the location. The gang had wiped fingerprints from most surfaces, but they missed one thing: the Monopoly board. Those fingerprints matched existing criminal records. Within days, 14 of the 16 gang members were arrested. Only 2 men were never found: the replacement train driver and the Royal Mail insider who leaked the information. The court sentenced most of the gang to 30 years in prison, calling it the crime of the century. The bridge where it all happened became known as the Train Robbers Bridge. Jack Mills never recovered from his injuries and died years later due to complications from the attack. No gunfire, no alarms, just planning, patience, and a single red light in the dark. So here's the question: was this the smartest robbery ever committed, or proof that even the perfect crime always leaves something behind?